Do not attempt to adjust your podcast player. We are controlling the transmission. We are here to be your guide, helping you to explore local events, the art scene, music, theater, sports, and possibly a conspiracy or two. All here on the GCRX Radio and Podcast Network.
Good evening, all of you viewers who are watching from literally everywhere. Couple shout outs to some friends in Australia who are watching. Yeah, it's like a different day.
Nice.
Altogether. Let's start with that. Hi guys. The UK, you guys are watching too. Thank you. My peeps out in New York. My peeps. Do people still use that expression?
Probably not.
Probably not.
It
Yeah.
dates you.
They do.
What?
Around Easter.
Oh gee.
Those things are trash.
Around Easter.
How do you take marshmallow and make it taste like
I don't know. I am Brian with a Y, your favorite guy, your finance guy. Welcome to In the Metro from GCRX. Streaming to you live from Granite City. There are plenty of things here that are awesome and wonderful and fantastic.
fabulous?
Today, I have with me, as always, Engineer Bill. Say hi, Bill.
What up?
What up? That's
Do
what's
people
up.
still say that?
I don't know. I'm so not hip to lingo now.
No.
Joining us today for the very first time, we have Joe Sedbury. Say hello, Joe.
Hello.
He does the normal thing.
He's like, hello. Yeah, so how was your weekend, Joe?
It was. I'm trying to think. What did I even do this weekend? It was good. Let's start there.
Just okay.
While I think about
what
what
did
I
you
did.
do? What did you do?
Oh, we had like an all church prayer night on Saturday that my
Nice.
wife served at, and that was really good. And we had dinner with the parents, with the in-laws after, and games with some other friends that came over. Then we had like an all church service. So by all church, I mean like all the churches in Missouri, basically, that
Wow.
we're affiliated with, all came and had like a nice little service and lunch afterwards, and
Nice.
then went back over to the in-laws again for another game night.
That's a lot of time to spend with in-laws.
They're great people, though.
You know what?
So-
I can appreciate that. I had some pretty cool in-laws. Taught me how to change my own oil.
Nice.
That was cool. Said, hey, I'm going to teach you to save some couple bucks. And I was like, cool, I could do that. So I get on the creeper, I scroll on under. There's like a bolt hanging. It was a Kia, so it's a foreign car. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I get the pry bar and get the bolt off, and everything's going well. And this black goo comes out, and I'm like, okay, so that's oil. Cool. All right. Put the plug back in, scoot on out from underneath the car, and everything's going well. So I've put 5 quarts of oil.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, in after changing the filter, and everything was cool. Backed the car out, put it in drive. Had a bit of difficulty getting it in gear. A lot of white smoke coming out the tailpipe. Apparently, I had drained the transmission fluid.
Great job.
Oh.
And I didn't know what a transmission was. I just knew they were expensive. So, yeah. I was like, well, I'll just take the car. He was like, you're going to need to take another vehicle. Do not drive this car
No.
without transmission fluid. I'm like, well, how bad could it be?
Really bad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Now that I've been in the automotive field for 2 years, I understand how unbelievably ridiculous that is. But I for the most part, I had great times with my in-laws when I had in-laws. Now I don't.
Yeah.
Bill, what did you do for the weekend?
Moved a bunch of stuff, pretty much all of our Saturday over into the new building. And then we had our trunk or treat thing on the parking lot on Sunday, and we served at that. And
How many people came through?
It was 2,295. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
That's a lot of candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Walmart twice.
In addition to
What was already there.
Yeah.
donated, yeah. That's anytime, and I guess when I was a kid, I didn't understand. Like churches tend to be these like country clubs, and it's like, oh no, we don't talk to people, and it's like, no, but we're supposed to. Like we're supposed to get beyond the four walls or however many walls. But there are a lot of churches that will just like, no, we're the last of the vestiges of just the dregs of whatever's left here. We've been here serving since 1970, and it's those of us who ain't dead yet, we're gonna die here. So, and it's like that's not the way you want it to go. So I love that Restoration gets out there and does that. I forgot this past weekend was the weekend before and completely missed our trunk or treat.
No.
Didn't go where you thought it was going, did you? Yeah, missed it. Sorry, Matt.
Okay, you don't need any more candy.
That's true. Like it sends my ADHD, and you'll get this during our well, you've probably already got it through the conversations we've had. It goes into overdrive, and then I have no idea how we got here. I haven't had a whole lot of sugar today, which is how I was able to tie that whole car thing back to in-laws, which we were talking about. But yeah, I'm usually like all over the place.
Sweet.
Yeah. In any case, so cool. So we talked a little bit about what we did this past weekend. Well, I didn't really say what I did this weekend.
Yeah,
I know
did you do?
What did I do? Right. That
You studied probably.
I did.
That's probably
I
all
did.
you did.
I was going for my MLO, my mortgage loan originators. I've told you guys that that's what I was going for. I printed up the booklet for it, just so we're clear, and bear with me.
Is it thick?
No, I don't have it here. It's 422 pages.
That's a
And
lot.
you printed that?
Yeah.
Whose printer did you use?
Oh, we don't ask those questions. Plausible deniability. Anyway, I know if I went to, because I priced it up, if I had gone to,
So normally like market rate is like 10 cents a page, isn't it?
oh yeah, like FedEx was 23 cents a page.
Oh, yeah, that's
and it came out to
ridiculous.
$97 and change, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I know somebody who
You
I
could
could
have bought it online for cheaper than that, probably.
probably,
Yeah.
but I printed it up for free,
Oh, well.
so it ended up working out.
Okay.
Wow.
If you know, you know. And most of you don't. In fact, I'd say 99.999% of you have no idea. That's totally fine. But yeah, I was in the house for majority of the weekend. If I left the house, it was literally to go to church and then go back home to study. And I got to module 5 today, and I didn't, it had to have been less than 2 hours ago the window closed for me to finish the final exam, and the window closed during the final exam. So the great news
So it can
is,
close while you're taking it?
yeah, the great news is because it has to be done by 6:30
So
Eastern
just
time.
shut off on your,
Yeah.
damn. That's harsh.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I was at like question 25 or
I was
something
at least
like
you
that.
weren't at like the 3 questions. From the end.
I would have cried.
Oh,
Please,
man.
you gotta give me the extra 2 minutes, please. But yeah, so the new window opens tomorrow, and it doesn't save all your progress. It's like old school NES games. So you start from the very beginning.
Of the
A very
test.
good place
Or
to
the
start.
modules.
The modules.
Oh, but
So-
you already know them.
Yeah, but I still have to sit through and click every single
That
module.
won't take you as long, though.
It's 20 hours.
I heard someone click for you.
Yeah, that's kind of illegal.
20 hours?
Yeah, so in the state of Missouri, actually federally, the NMLS, the National Mortgage Loan Service, I think is what it is, system. It's one of those 2 words. You have to take a mandatory 20-hour class, and then it becomes state specific with the exam.
That just tells me that the whole mortgage system's way too complicated.
Not at all.
Oh, you're so full of it.
I'll be honest. If you're wondering why I'm doing this, I'm going to answer your question. I really do like this mug. I'm not a huge fan of like Batman, but I do like comic book characters, and I wanted to, have them in the Metro mug. But I also wanted to showcase this because I got this for a birthday present a couple years ago, and I'm gonna let this do its thing because the mug is a magic mug, and you guys haven't seen it yet, but it's gonna change and stuff. So
you hope.
it better. It worked before. I was like, maybe I'll make 2 drinks. No, but then you can't see the mug transform
I
like it's
see it.
transforming
Oh,
now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Can we see this on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was-
cool.
that was
Yeah.
cool.
It's the Joker, it's Batman. Samuel Green. I'll tag you in this later. But yeah, he's a huge Batman fan. But yeah, I'm a big fan of comic books. So back to the NMLS. It's great that it's a federally regulated kind of thing. It's not like life insurance where it kind of varies from state to state. One thing that you don't know, Joe, in New York State, you have something called Regulation 60. Regulation 60 is literally you have to contact the old life insurance company and get the information from them about the policy that you plan on replacing. So it alerts the agent. It ends up with enemy confrontations. Like, it gets real convoluted and complicated, and it's just not a whole lot of fun. But with the NMLS, it's just like it's a blanket all across the board, and then you take your state exam afterwards. So it works out. It's
I'm
cool.
not saying that the process is complicated. I'm saying that the whole process of mortgages,
Oh yeah,
It's
conventional and non-conventional mortgages.
just everything.
Oh gosh, it is a nightmare.
Yeah, real estate is complicated.
Yeah.
It is, but there's money in it, so people do it.
Yeah.
So people do it. So.
Yeah, I forget which bank robber. They asked him, "Why do you rob banks?" He's like, "That's where all the money is. Like, why wouldn't I?" Right? Like Dillinger. He's the reason the FBI even exists.
Wow.
He used to rob a bank and then like go over state lines, and the jurisdiction of that state ended once he crossed state lines, and then haha, nana boo boo, or something like that. I don't know.
That's terrible. Like, yeah, you can't do anything. I'm
Yeah,
right here, but
But
Yeah.
for I think he had stolen something like maybe $250,000 over the course of his career as
which
a
is
criminal.
nothing today.
Yeah,
Well,
back when
inflation adjusted.
right,
Well, yeah, that's true.
and this was what the 20s, so like
Yeah.
100 years ago.
So he's rich.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's loaded.
let's see, 4%, 18 years. Let's bump that to 20. So over the course of 100 years, 250, 500, 1 million. Yeah, it's like $4 million is what he in today's dollars stole. But they spent like $4 million to catch him back then.
Oh, wow.
So, like, who really made out? You know, like the taxpayers didn't.
Mm-mm.
They did not.
So he actually stole more from us. What a bastard.
I guess. Oh, no fun. No fun. So, I've got to give you a tour of this place later.
Okay.
But ultimately, let's get into like today's topic. So you and I,
What is it?
we've met. Joe and I met at some point over the course of the last 7 years. Like, we've been like passing each other and had no idea of the other. And then we ended up in the same line of work. And one day I walked into his place of employment and was like he said hi to me, and I'm like, do I know you? Like, how hi? I just said hi back. And he's like, we had dinner 2 nights ago. And I'm like, 2 nights ago? Oh, and it was with an investment company that had taken us all out to dinner. And it was like, oh, well, dag. Okay, cool. But what is really awesome is Joe is now transitioning from being an employee to being a business owner. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it. So, Joe, how long have you been doing? Well, first of all, what line of work are you in?
Now I'm a actually licensed financial advisor,
That's what's up.
not a TikTok financial advisor.
TikTok
Burned on
financial
the way
advice.
down. I've taken a sip of the tea. Oh, that hurt.
I just learned what TikToks were like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, so I'm still getting used to them.
Yeah, them ticky tacks.
Yeah, there's
Tell you how to fix your car.
But yes, a licensed financial advisor.
That's what's up. How far into the process are you? Like, what licenses do you currently hold?
I currently have a life license,
Mm-hmm.
an SIE, a Series 6, and a Series 63.
Okay, so
license.
like mutual funds and stuff.
Yep. And
Awesome.
then hopefully, if I pass my test in the first week of November, a 65.
You
which
will.
is more like managed account type stuff.
Investment advisor stuff.
Yes. One step closer to being an investment advisor, which, I mean, it's not really necessary for where we're at right now, but I would love to have that title.
Okay. The 65 pretty much puts you in that category.
Yeah.
So, like, you'll be good. And I think you're going to do a fantastic job. You'll
Hey,
pass that
thanks.
thing. I
Appreciate
think
that.
you're smarter than me when it comes to this kind of stuff.
I don't know if I'm smarter than you, but I am a good test taker. I will
Yeah.
pat myself on the back for that.
That's what's up. So how long have you been in this line of work?
I would, well, if you go by our questionnaires, 15 years I've been dealing with investments, but no, as becoming a financial advisor, a little over a year now, or about a year.
Oh, okay.
Got into the business a year ago.
Well, that's
Started
cool.
the process.
That's really cool. And what drew you to it, though?
A lot of factors. A lot of it was God and just timing and where I was at in my life. Just God kind of put something on my heart of wanting to serve people in a more impactful way and to serve His church and serve people more. So it was kind of a season of like, are you willing to sacrifice where you're at, which was a place of comfort and, you know, the job pays very well where I was at, and we lived a good lifestyle. So I was like, the job was a little stressful, but, you know, the money was there. So it was,
Right.
it was fine. So it was during that time but it had also been an interest of mine as well. So it just kind of, our RVP, Joe, reached out to me at kind of like the perfect timing, basically, of like, hey, I'm just looking for people. I know you said you weren't interested before, but how about now? He didn't know what's going on. It was just one of
Right.
those moments of like, I was like, yes, actually I am kind of like in the middle of like praying and seeking God for like, you know, what's next. And yeah, that's kind of how I got started in it. That's a short version.
That's what's up, though. I feel like there reach these points in time where the perfect storm is created.
Yeah.
And as you are just kind of going through life, you're not even wandering. Like you're looking for the lighthouse, so to speak. And it just like it hits you and you're like, "Oh, well, there's the lighthouse. That's the direction that I was looking to go." I don't know if you've read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Nope.
I think is his name. But yeah, he talks about that where we all have this like divine kind of like dream, and it's up to us to really go after the dream, or you can kind of just like settle
Yeah.
and always know that the dream was there, but at some point you'll become bitter as the people around you become bitter because they see like it was in you and now it's dying.
Yeah.
And nothing is ever really dead until, you know, like you are. But, and even then you can kind of move forward with that. But that's really cool. So, you're getting your 65.
Yes.
That'll happen next week because next week is the first week of November.
Yeah,
My
end of the
birthday is next week, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that before.
You expecting like cards from people that are
Absolutely not. And definitely, please, for the love of everything, like if you're gonna send a pizza, don't let it be emos. Like I will be
listening? I will pay individually $25.
visibly upset.
I'll pay for the
You're not a
emos.
fan?
if
No,
you
I'm not a
send it.
fan of emos.
He's from freaking New York.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hoity-toity.
You wouldn't have liked the last investment dinner we had then, because that's what we had. Like four emo pizzas.
Oh. Was the information good at least?
Information was really good. Can't talk about it on here, but
Well, that's cool. You know, I usually like the investment wholesalers. They show up.
they're good.
I thought you were more cultured than to just diss on another area's amazing pizza.
I am cultured. I
New
love
York style-
Broadway.
Okay, wait. Just let me know this. Is like Pizza Hut's New Yorker, is that like a valid New York style pizza?
I don't understand the nature of your question.
Pizza Hut, they have a pizza called the New Yorker here in St. Louis. I don't know what they call it in New York, but
The local.
Yeah, this is the local.
Here.
It's like it's a Philly cheesesteak in
Right.
Philadelphia.
No, it's just the cheese.
Is the
Cheesesteak.
It's just a cheesesteak. Yeah.
So, have you had it?
I haven't had it yet.
Oh well,
but
can't answer my question.
I can't answer the question. I'm sorry.
Well, we're a Pizza Hut New Yorker.
A New Yorker?
In New York. I don't.
See, like
Joe does that with New York.
New York. He's suddenly from like the Bronx or something.
I don't know where that was.
It just,
It's like New York. Y-A-W-K. York.
York.
York. It's like squawk,
Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
See, like I've had Chicago pizza from Chicago.
Okay, the
and,
tavern style or the deep dish?
both, and I've had the replica Chicago pizzas that are here. The Chicago pizza's okay. It's not my favorite, but whatever. That's their style.
It's like a pizza cake.
Really, it is. I've never had legit New York pizza. I want to one day. I don't mind emos. I'm not always a super thin crust person. So I mean, like, if you load it up with bacon, it's really freaking good. I like it. But I don't know, the local pizza places. Pizza Hut's probably the only one, in my opinion, that has decent crust. Don't know what Papa John's is doing. You guys just need to stop smoking whatever drugs you're smoking because it's not good. Domino's, you failed. It's done. Little Caesars, the cardboard from the dumpster is not for dough. It is not.
But those Little Caesar bites, though.
Yes, and for some reason they're doing their wings good too. Like Amy and I both love the wings from Little Caesars, but the pizza, like I feel like I could use it to ship Amazon products
You
with.
could.
You could.
You could.
And
With the right amount of tape.
dude, I'm telling you. Like maybe they're in the wrong business and they should just be manufacturing cardboard boxes because it's terrible.
Maybe they are.
Like
I-
it's like
Caesar
I don't.
Whitaker's is just a sub company. Subsidiary of some
I've had them
cardboard.
once.
Right.
I had Cecil Whitaker's once.
Cecil?
Cecil? Is it not
No.
Cecil?
Cecil.
Cecil?
Salmon.
Tomato.
No. And you're not pretty.
Cecil.
So
Ooh!
you guys wouldn't understand. We had a pre-show conversation that makes sense for. So that's why he's laughing.
I think I'm gorgeous.
Oh, I can't.
Cecil Whitaker's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not Cecil.
No.
How would you spell Cecil?
Same way as Cecil.
Yeah.
Cecil Fielder?
No, that's Cecil.
Yeah. I mean, there's
He
just
calls himself that. Not
there's
us.
so many ways.
Cecil.
It's
did
the
it
English
himself.
language, bro. It's the
He's a
English
guy.
language.
Seriously? It's not Cecil Whitaker.
Seriously.
No, it's Cecil Whitaker. Have you never? Well, you weren't here in the time when they were doing TV and radio commercials.
Yeah.
No,
for them
I was not.
because it was like legit. Yeah, you would have known
Cecil Whitaker.
Cecil Whitaker. Yep.
Well, I'd like to apologize to Cecil Whitaker, but I don't care.
Probably dead, isn't he?
I don't know. The pizza was okay at best. Like, it wasn't anything memorable.
That's not terrible.
Right.
It's just another emos, really.
I like this guy. No, seriously though, like, I mean, what's your opinion on outside of you're biased because you're addicted to New York pizza? It's probably got cocaine in it, but
It's
outside
the water.
of that,
It literally
I
is
guarantee.
the water in New York.
But like comparing all of the other pizza brands, Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, we can't even say Little Caesars because they're not even trying anymore. Like, I just don't think they're great quality anymore. And unless, and I've had it from different, so it's not just like our Domino's sucks or our Papa John's sucks. Like, it's just meh. It's mid.
So
It is. I agree.
maybe it's the fact that I've only had that deep dish in Chicago once. I enjoyed that more than, and please, I am still a New Yorker. With that statement, I think I've just solidified whatever it was I was saying. In any case, I really did enjoy the deep dish, only to find out that that's like a tourist thing. That's not even like if you go to Chicago they do the tavern style. Like that's
Yeah.
what Chicago's known for. I was like, no, like it's the Windy City and it's known for deep dish pizza. Well, apparently it's like the 3rd or 4th windiest city. It's not the number 1 windiest city.
It's pretty windy though.
yeah, but it's not the
No.
windiest.
Do they claim to be the windiest?
No, they don't. Well, people call them the
Windy
It's the
City.
Windy City.
Yeah. It's
But
a windy city.
It's a Windy
not
City.
the windy city.
Right. It's like, oh, hey, you know, the Cubs are champions. Like, no, they're not.
Just once
Literally once.
in the last.
And
100
if they had
years.
done it a year earlier, Robert Zemeckis would have been a genius or a time traveler.
Oh, because
yeah,
of
the Back
yep,
to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
yep. The
remember
sports
that. I
almanac.
The
remember
Sports
that.
Almanac says the Cubs won it in 2015. It was like, oh wow, yeah, I never saw the Cubbies winning it. Like, oh
Yeah.
okay. So that was interesting.
We got sidetracked there with pizza. What was-
Yes, we were
what was
talking.
the next question.
The question was,
Happens every time.
how does New York pizza stand up to all the other pizzas?
Oh, I thought
or-
I was going back to business, but yeah.
Oh
we
yeah,
stay
we're
on
going.
pizza.
Yeah, we're going there. We're going there.
We stay on pizza. I like pizza.
Love pizza. Quick Trip actually has pretty good pizza. I'm not even gonna lie.
Not horrible.
No,
It's not
and
bad.
it was the first place I ever had like a breakfast pizza because
We
breakfast
have good
pizza is
breakfast
not a
pizza.
thing
If it's fresh, it's good.
in New York.
But you know what just drives me nuts with Quick Trip? Like I love
What?
Quick Trip. Quick Trip is Quick Trip is awesome, and their QT kitchens awesome. You can do the little custom sandwiches or get it whatever the way that it's totally cool. But stop calling the things you made into burritos tacos.
We have to
No,
legally
no, that's stupid.
Why?
Then call it something else.
because people don't know how to make a burrito. They can't fold a burrito.
Oh, well, that's fine, but don't call
So
a
it's easier
burrito
to
a
call
taco.
it a taco.
And then
They
the one that
screw up so much. We had to return so many burritos because they weren't burritos.
Oh, are you serious?
these
Because
dude.
no one know how to fold a burrito.
No.
I mean,
changed
listen,
it to
hold on.
taco.
If the people at Taco Bell can fold a burrito, I would say the Quick
Can
Trip
they?
employee. They do it every day. I don't know. Like I would say maybe the Quick Trip employee should be a little bit higher of a caliber.
They-
You know,
You would think they would.
you would think. But
Some of them can.
back to my point. Like
Yeah.
So I've heard some like nobody else is calling this out. This is purely a me thing. I'm sure somebody else is, but it just gets to me because these companies want to be like, oh well, this is our version of the blah blah. No, it's not your version of a taco. It's a tortilla in the shape of a burrito,
Yeah.
wrapped up as a burrito,
Yeah.
and you're calling it a taco. And then when somebody asks about it, the response from the employee is like, well, it's our version of a taco. No, that's stupid.
That's not my answer. My answer was what I told you.
Oh,
We don't have people that know how to wrap burritos, so we stopped trying.
Like,
So-
they probably make a machine for that.
Because it's no, literally, it's the exact same way we made our burritos.
Oh, yeah, you can
we
tell.
The only thing we changed is we don't try to do the fold anymore.
Oh my gosh, it
It's
just
the
drives
exact
me
same.
nuts. Like and here's the reason. Not because I care wholly that they're
Yes.
really burritos, but because I got literally excited that Quick Trip was going to have tacos. Like, listen,
You were
now
misled.
I have a portfolio of taco availability. I've got Taco Bell, I've got Jack in the Box, and now Quick Trip's coming along, and I'm like, sweet tacos. And then I get up there and I see it in the heated thing that they put in, and I'm like, what is this? It is brisket, so I'll give it a
I was
little
gonna
bit.
say, was that a brisket burrito or brisket
Listen,
taco?
I'm giving a little leeway there, but it's not a true taco. I was sincerely disappointed at the lack of tacoage.
There are fryers coming, so maybe it'll be a hard taco.
Maybe because it needs to be a thing. It really does.
My favorite taco, by the way, fast food taco, is Jack in the Box.
Yes. Oh yeah, the
I
greasy
just-
Jack in the
I
Box
figure
taco.
I'd throw that out there.
I
Oh, here we go.
didn't know
Was
what
New
Jack
York
in the
make better
Box
tacos
was
too?
until I moved here.
Oh well, yeah.
It's legit not. I guess it's not a thing.
no, it's
in
like
New
it's like
York?
Whataburger.
It's probably called
in-
something else.
I don't know. We had Checkers in New York.
No, that's
Probably
Rallies.
Jill in the Box or something. I don't know what you guys
Chill
do
in
up
the
there.
box.
I don't know what you guys do up there in New
Checkers
York.
is Rallies.
That's-
Yes,
Rallies,
it is the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
But like, I was familiar with
Yeah.
Rallies when I came here because it's literally the same everything.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is like the name. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have both though. We have Checkers and Rallies.
Yeah.
Why?
And we have Waffle House. Screw you.
Yo, Waffle House.
We have Waffle House.
Waffle House
I could
is
do
the
some
place.
Waffle House right now. We
Yo.
should have a Waffle House show.
We could do that
Oh,
next
do it
week.
in the Waffle House. I'll
We
join
probably
you for
could.
that.
I love Waffle
Hey
House.
wanna
guys,
do a
quiet on the
diner.
set. Quiet on the set.
You know, the great thing about Waffle House is they really can't like disappoint you because
No.
you already know you're going to the Greasy Spoon, probably not super clean, old truck stop looking restaurant from the 1970s.
It's true.
So they really, I mean, they can't disappoint. You're like,
No
oh,
upgrades.
you know,
No
Pleasantly
upgrades.
surprised.
right? Like, oh wow, the eggs and hash browns were great today. It was awesome. You know, like what?
I heard about this one Waffle House that got shut down because apparently it like failed inspection. And
Like, don't they all?
yeah. And it was Kev on stage. He was like, but what did you expect? Like, seriously, like,
Right.
it's Waffle House. What do you, like, are you really genuine? Look, there's the guy in the back who seems to have lost his spatula. He is scooping your eggs with his bare hands to flip them. Like, this is what's happening. The waffles are always on point.
Is he
Like, the
wearing
eggs,
gloves?
maybe, I don't know. But it was just like, what? It's Waffle House. Like,
Yeah.
I went to a Denny's. The first time I went to a Denny's was 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Denny's,
'cause-
that's a company that's struggling right now too.
Is it?
Yes.
I know the one near me, it's now a Slim Chickens down on Hampton in the city. But that, I used to do Postmates. And I remember I was going to pick up an order. They had just gotten robbed.
No, that sucks.
So, like, I'm walking in and they're just like, yeah, what are you here for? I'm here to pick up. Then I see the sirens and the police are coming in, and I'm like, everything all right here? And it was like, you might want to get out of here because we just got robbed.
No.
It's like, oh, like, say less.
Okay,
Thank
but
you.
do you have my order though?
Yeah,
Because-
like, I just need the order. So I grabbed the order and I was on my way out. Fortunately, the officer wasn't like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I'm delivering this to somebody.
right.
But that was a great story to tell them because, you know, I show up and I'm like, hey, so this place just got robbed, but you have your food, so
Yeah.
it's all good, you know? What? My sister was in a bank. She was in a Chase Bank in New York. One of the companies she was working for did not do direct deposits. So she had to every Thursday go
Take a
deposit her check.
Yeah.
So she's in Chase and she's depositing her check before her shift at work, and they get robbed while she's in there.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
So at that point, nobody leaves because the police are questioning everybody. And she was like, she called her boss. She's like, hey, so here's the deal. Like, I ain't coming in. But Grace, come on. You know, we got a full house tonight. I'm super aware of that. But if you want to talk to the officer who wants to talk to me about the fact that I've just in the store, in the bank that got robbed, like, I mean, here's the phone. I don't know if he wants to talk to you. He's busy conducting an interview right now. Okay, fine, whatever. Like, you just kind of got to pick your battles at that point.
Yeah.
So the boss was like, all right, well, we'll see you tomorrow. Like, yeah, you will.
you know, like how often do bank robberies occur these days?
Great question. Probably something we can ask AI.
You see it in movies, yeah, probably. You'll get put on a list too, I'm sure. But
Oh, yeah.
like you see it in movies, like all the old movies from back in the day. You know, people robbing banks, and of course, like the old like Western movies, that was the thing because you know, right, go rob a bank in a small town, whatever. But like, you know, the odds of getting away with a bank robbery today, like, bro,
Which
probably
is really
not good.
It's really interesting that we're even talking about bank robberies because today's tip of the day, financial tip
here
of the
we
day, is pay yourself first. The government
No.
does it anyway, right? And your money, if it's in a bank, is FDIC insured for up to what, $250,000?
Yeah.
So they say it's really like $100, but whatever. $250,000, but you want to pay yourself first. You take a certain percentage of your income, put it aside before you do your expenditures. But I'll miss my car note or my bill payment. Look, you'll be fine. Believe me, you'll be fine. Get into the habit of paying yourself first, something like 5% at first, and then work your way up to like 10 or 15%. But you want to do that.
You know,
And
that's
the sooner the better.
Yes, the sooner the better.
That's a good question that maybe we answer on a podcast, or maybe you know a quick answer to it. You said the FDIC, $250,000 insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I've got $1 million on my account.
Mm-hmm.
Bank gets robbed.
Mm-hmm.
I only get $250,000 of that back.
Yep.
Yep.
That's how that works. There's your quick answer.
Yeah.
If all of the money is liquidated, like somebody, and the thing about banks is like they never actually have all that cash on hand.
Right.
It's kind of like a casino. Well, casinos are actually probably held to stricter, like if you're going to
So-
have
so
$3
then
million
how-
in chips, you
How
need to
does that work? So,
So
let's
you
say
would diversify to different banks.
right. But I'm saying, so like, let's say I got $1 million and
Mm-hmm.
I drop it into Bank of America, U.S. Bank, name whatever bank.
Yeah.
Drop it into a bank, and this Bank of America branch that I go to all the time, that's my local Bank of America branch, gets robbed. Well, my money's not there.
No. So what that goes towards, the FDIC,
Mm-hmm.
it goes towards if the bank becomes insolvent.
Right.
So if the bank itself, like back in 2008, Dime went out of business, Washington Mutual went
A
out of
lot of
business,
fun
like
businesses.
a lot of places just
Yeah.
like up and poof.
Done.
But if that happens, if the bank becomes insolvent, they owe you at max $250,000 of your $1 million.
Right.
What will happen when you start approaching like $300,000, $400,000 in your account? And this is coming to me. I'm giving you this information secondhand from somebody who had this happen to him. He was a business owner. He was making a lot of money. He wasn't really paying much attention to it. And then he had $500,000 and he gets a call from the bank like, hey, so you've got all this extra money that's not FDIC insured. What do you want to do with it? And he was like, oh, thanks for letting me know. And then he immediately just like put it into a managed account
That's good.
because that was the line of work he was in. He was just like, oh, I'm just going to move it to my investments. I'll let it grow.
Wait, I shouldn't get it in gold bricks and bury it somewhere and make a map?
Absolutely not.
No.
That's one way to do it.
I mean, that seems
I
fun,
wouldn't
though.
recommend it.
Look, I don't.
It seems fun.
I'm not
though.
against gold. Gold's fine.
I
It's okay.
I just want to
feel-
have a treasure
But
map
don't
that's
have all
real.
gold.
right.
Yeah, like
Oh, if that's your
that
goal,
way.
then
I mean, like,
definitely
and I
do it.
want to make it so incredibly complicated that, like, if I get dementia or something, it's never getting found, or these people are going to be looking for it for years. Like, throw little tricks in there and stuff. Like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That'd be totally cool.
So go to the traffic light on Namioki and Failing. You're gonna go right 5 car lengths. You're gonna make a left
What
for 5
size
car
car?
lengths. Exactly.
Yeah, figure it
Because
out.
Wait. What was the average size of a car when the dude wrote this map?
well,
Exactly.
it just so happened he owned a smart car,
Oh, son of a!
and you drive a Volvo. So like.
In fact, that's how he died. He hit a squirrel and it's totally wrecked. How cool would that be, though? Like, you're
cool.
the old dude that died, and no, like, he had a crap ton of money, and it's not all accounted for, and he's got this map, bro.
Kind of like Ready Player One.
Dude, that would be epic.
That was a really fun book. The movie was okay.
I would go on a treasure hunt. I mean, like, think about how exciting that stuff was back in the day. We're going to go on an expedition to Antarctica. Like, you're probably going to die because it's, the early 1900s and you're horribly underprepared. But how freaking cool is that?
I know an excursion we could take
Oh, gosh. It's too expensive, though.
to get to the cheese.
Oh, yeah. See, that's federal prison time, though.
I think it's worth it.
I mean, he's talking about the strategic cheese reserves in Missouri. That's a legitimate thing. The government bought a ton, like more than a ton, bought a ridiculous amount of cheese back in the day, and they have it in a base, and it is a cheese reserve.
Just in case the cheese.
And so,
Goes away.
we want to do the whole cheese heist thing. I mean, that would be that'd be
if you
really
can't
cool.
do it, you can make a movie about it.
That's true.
Make some money off it.
That is true. That is true.
That is a brilliant idea. And
Or-
you know what? We'll use live shots. So we'll actually have to get it cleared that we break in and then, we steal all the cheese and then we've got to get to Mexico.
In all seriousness,
yeah.
just Mexico trafficking cheese into a foreign country. I would like to go. I wonder if you can tour the cheese reserve.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I bet you can't because it's silly and a lot of people don't know about it. But I wonder if you can.
That would be fun.
Another question AI might be able to answer.
Look,
Oh yeah.
AI predicted. Remember when we asked ChatGPT who was president of the United States in 2025?
Yes.
We're not going to go into it, but good grief. That was like, okay, what about 2029? 2033. And it was like, oh, who the hell's that guy? Like,
Interesting. Now you make me want to go look this up.
yo, it was the creepiest thing. It was the creepiest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I wonder if it changes depending on what AI platform you use.
Oh, that's
I
a
bet it
good
does.
question.
Did you know, though, now that every bit of recorded human history and knowledge has been put into large language model now?
What do you mean?
Like everything, every written text available ever has been ingested into the large language model.
What is the large language model?
AI.
Learns.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Every single book, every bit of recorded human history is in the large language model.
You know, that makes for a very interesting. So, my brain went immediately to like the Monday Night Wars between Raw and Nitro and D-Generation X. I don't know. Like I'm envisioning like the AI model doing the crotch chop. Like what? Like, yeah, this is what we saw as entertainment before. And not much has changed. They just don't hit each other in the face with chairs anymore.
You know, I do think so. One interesting thing, and I know this show is not about that at all, but Apple
We do have to
literally,
get back on topic.
Apple the company, literally released a peer-reviewed paper. It's out there now, and one of their things was AI still does the large language model based AI still does not have the capability of logical reasoning, and they proved it. And they're like, hey, it's a long road ahead. Basically, they were like, hey, AI is great. What we're doing with AI is great. It's actually been around a lot longer than what this recent hype has been, just in lesser forms.
Okay.
But it's not all that it's cracked up to be. And their reasoning was it can't make logical choices when given very understandable questions or very understandable situations that a human would be like, okay. And so it listed out reasons. One of the reasons that they showed, and it can actually be proven if you do it to any one of these models, is just throw irrelevant information into the ask. Like one of the asks was last year's rates were 10% lower than what they are today. John wants to get a hotel room. The hotel room is $55 a night, and you know he gets a discount of 6%. And he's going to stay for 2 nights and then wants to also order the breakfast that's, you know, additional $20. And also the rates were 10% cheaper last year. What would John's current rate be for his hotel stay and the breakfast? And AI goes into taking the 10% out of the equation, even though I've told you twice that the rates were 10% cheaper last year. But I didn't ask you to factor that in. I asked you give me his current rate. A very simple answer. Like you or I would look at that and be like, okay.
Okay, so it's $5.50 off. So we're at $49.50.
Right, you do the math for the current rate, and you'd
plus
ignore
taxes. It's like less than $150.
You'd ignore the 10%.
You can't do it.
Yeah, you'd ignore the 10% thing from last year. The AI cannot.
Yeah.
And so it's situation, and that's a very simple situation. Okay. Another one was, you know, the landline call rate at a hotel is 60 cents per minute, and after not 60 cents, 6 cents per minute, and then after 25 minutes it goes down to 3 cents per minute, and then we want to make a phone call that's 60 minutes long, and John is a salesman. And it was just like trying to figure out what to do with John as a salesman in this equation that was being
you're supposed to ignore. The 10% cheaper it does ignore.
No, the 10% cheaper, it did not ignore that either. It took 10% off the entire thing, even though I clearly asked it in the question, what's his current rate now? Like, so in that paragraph, you were reading it as a human, you'd say, oh, the rates were 10% cheaper last year. Okay. Then you'd read on to see that it was $55 a night, plus his 6% discount, plus he wants the $20 breakfast.
Oh, I did that backwards.
What's his current rate?
You're human.
what's his current rate for the stay, considering that the rates were 10% cheaper last year? Well, you'd look at that and be like, it doesn't matter that the rates were 10% cheaper last year.
Right now.
His current rate would be this, and the calculation, AI can't fathom that. And they can't break through on that, no matter how much power they put into it. And no matter how many nuclear power plants they recommission. Yeah.
That's interesting. Speaking of nuclear power plants.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did a drive recently,
Mm-hmm.
and I was taking a couple of young ladies from their hotel to the airport. And when I asked, oh, so what brings you guys to town? Oh, we were nuclear plant scaffolding specialists, something like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? So, their job is to go into nuclear power plants and help with the maintenance.
Okay.
And the way they help with the maintenance is they build the scaffolding so that the technicians and the engineers can go up and pull the rods out.
Yeah.
Because they've hit half-life, put the new rods in, basically refueling. And I'm like, refueling? How do you refuel a nuclear power? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you take the old rods out and
Put new ones in.
Put the new ones in. Now, the half-life that's left in the rods that they're removing are still powerful enough to, energize a large city for the next 30 years.
Yeah, there's a company, I believe, in Sweden that's doing refining of these rods and making them into new fuel rods that can be used.
Which would be great.
The problem is that their process is under ultimate scrutiny, because that's also how you make nuclear weapons, through that refining process. So, yeah, let's be careful with that.
Interesting job.
So, when are we getting warp drives?
Well, we'd have to perfect antimatter, and that's a little further off.
According to, Star Trek First Contact, April 5th, 2063.
Yeah, we have to perfect antimatter
Maybe.
and magnetic force fields. We're kind of a little behind on the magnetic force field end of things.
Do you remember the first show that I did where, it was September, early September. I brought in the little NCC 1701.
Yeah, the original Enterprise.
Yeah. So I unfortunately stepped on it.
Oh, wow. That's terrible.
I had that thing too.
And it was really cool because I had it on my desk, and it sits on the desk and it mounts, and you press a little button and the theme song goes on.
Yeah.
And the lights light up, and it's really pretty.
I
and
had that one.
you can also put it on your Christmas tree.
That's cool.
And I was clearing off my desk, and I knocked it off, and I was like, oh, wait, where did what was that? Oh, that was it.
Now what you need to do is get some model paint and paint damage on it. And now it's a damaged relic.
Oh, genius.
Listen, you're not losing out here. You just have a different model now. Listen, slap some different nacelles on it. It could have been in the Battle of Wolf 359.
Yo,
Done.
big facts.
Yeah.
Are you a Star Trek fan, Joe?
Yes. I mean, I'm not super nerdy geeked out about it,
We are.
but I enjoy it. I grew up watching Next Generation.
Yep, same.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I enjoy the most.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any of the others, though?
I have seen a lot of the others, not to completion though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill and I, we kind of mind melded over Star Trek. He's a Voyager guy. I'm a DS9 guy. And
I love the Next Generation. That's what I grew up on.
I
too,
grew
of
up on
course.
Next Gen as well.
I went back and watched the original series, just because once Next Generation was over, you run out of content, But I liked Voyager a lot. And I watched DS9. It's like a soap opera on a space station, but still cool in its own right. I think their decision of including the Defiant later on in the show was a lifesaver, because you can only do so much crap on a station. But anywho, yeah, I enjoy it quite a bit. I do respect, though, that Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, put a lot of effort and time into making the things on the show scientifically feasible.
Yeah.
This, for example?
Right. It is funny, and people have done, comparisons and documentaries about it, but in the 60s, they're showing these communicators that you know, if you were in the 60s and you saw that, it'd blow your mind. All like, that's never going to happen, you know.
And then we got flip phones.
Right, and tablets and, you know, modular data storage, like oversized SD cards
Flash
and
drives.
different stuff like that. And there have been a lot of creators like, yeah, I got the idea for this type of whatever that I invented from Star Trek.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Case in point, the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
I'm so serious. My sister said to me the other day, if Back to the Future was made now,
No.
Doc would use the Cybertruck
Yep. Probably.
instead of the DeLorean. And I said, well, why?
Makes sense.
And it made sense because she was like, yeah, I mean, it's a hideous car
It is.
that people swear by. And I'm like, it's a flex tool. 120 grand for this vehicle, and it still has issues.
I still think that was mostly an Elon Musk FU to everybody.
Yeah, I
pretty
get that.
much. Like, I would imagine that at some point in time, he's like, we should do a truck. And, you know, jotted down a design, and they're like, oh, you can't, that's too ugly. And he's like, yeah, F you. Here it is.
Yeah, because if you look at the Cybertruck, the Cybertruck itself looks like futuristic cars. What we thought futuristic cars were going to look like in the 80s.
Well, the way they were depicted in those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, you know, thank you to Star Trek for all that it has done
Yeah.
technologically.
It's
And-
all that has inspired.
That has inspired all the stuff. Like pads, PAADs. Those were personal.
PADD.
PADD. It was personal. What did it stand for?
I'm going to go.
We'll look it up. Anyway, pads they became iPads.
Are you asking AI?
No, he's just looking it up now.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah,
sense.
I'm doing it old school.
It's not as fun.
You've got the encyclopedia?
I'm going to get it out. Hold on. I'll be right back. Give me 10 minutes.
Blow off all the dust.
Personal anti-drop device.
That'd be cool. But yeah, pads, I remember when they joked about it. It was like, oh, hey, the iPad. And it was like the
Personal access display device.
personal access display device.
So in the idea, because that was in like the Star Trek engineer's manual, was that it's actually a little more futuristic than what we have now in iPads or tablets, and that is that it was just a basic dumb terminal device that
was mobile.
interfaced to the ship's computer and was mobile. And so that's why you see people just throwing them around. Like, pads are everywhere. And honestly, it makes perfect sense, because then the ownership factor is like, oh, that's my pad. You know, no, it doesn't matter, because once you log into any pad, you are where you were, because it's your instance of whatever user interface you were using on the ship's computer. So you could just leave it, you know, in sick bay or in the mess hall, and you're logged out, and it doesn't matter. Somebody else pick it up and use it. They're all over the place.
So, do you remember the Apple Duo Dock?
No.
Oh,
Was
this-
that must have happened in the era of no Steve Jobs.
probably?
Yeah.
But it was
right along with the Newton little
pretty
box of junk.
cutting edge tech. So I remember I was in 9th grade, 8th grade, and one of my classmates had a Duo Dock. Basically, you could take a laptop out of your desktop, go to class, and then reconnect it, and it would upload all your info back to your hard drive, because it had like portable storage and portable hard drive. It was basically a laptop that you could then just like dock
Yeah.
into the rest of your hard drive,
Into
which
your
was kinda
central
cool.
computer.
Right, into the central computer, and then it would just transfer all the information. You said pad. I'm thinking, oh, hey, yeah, that I remember that. But Duo Docks are kind of more personalized, I guess.
Well, it's interesting because the industry is actually moving towards. I've seen it slow happening. I obviously keep up on everything IT, but there's a movement, and the only thing that's slowing down said movement right now is networking speeds and hardware capabilities. But companies would love nothing more than companies that have desktop-based employees, like sitting at a desk all day and they're using their desktops and everything. They'd love nothing more than to not have to continue buying desktops. To have something of a dumb terminal. If you're not familiar with what a dumb terminal is, they used to use them back in the day. They literally had little to no processing power. They connected to a central computer and they were used to access that. And it had enough power to grab what was coming from the central machine, display it on the screen, allow you to input data. You couldn't do anything locally. If you disconnected from the central computer, it'd just sit there and like drool out of its mouth. It was nothing. But companies would like to go back there so that the devices that are at the employees' desks are literally worthless, but they connect to the employee's instance of Windows or a Linux machine or whatever on a centralized server in that company's data center or whatever. And so therefore, if one breaks, they're super cheap. There's no configuration because you get it out of the box, you plug it in, you log into your company's network, and boom, whoever logged in, there's your instance of Windows.
It's cloud-based.
And the security is just there because you don't have to worry about disabling USB on the devices to keep employees from, plugging flash drives in. You don't have to worry about administrator roles, local storage failing, any of that kind of stupid crazy crap.
Because it's all in the central.
It's all in the central. And I can deploy an image for a new employee without imaging a computer and assigning them this computer. And Brian, you come to work one day in the normal office environment, your computer's dead. Oh, now you got to toy around with IT and get a new computer or get a other one and try to get it re-imaged with your stuff. And, oh, can you get my files back? Oh, man, it's a big pain in the butt. Well, you come into work with this new type of deployment and your computer's dead. Well, just go grab another terminal and plug it into your stuff and you're done. Like, we didn't lose any productivity. All your stuff's still there on the server. Done.
Nice.
And it allows for redundancy and everything with hard drives with RAID arrays. And so your stuff's not going to be lost, because that's all we do in the cloud.
RAID arrays like RAID array Bill?
No.
From Thor?
Hard drives with RAID arrays. It's always got to be some sort of freaking...
Yeah.
I can't with you.
It's a method for killing cockroaches.
Yes. A RAID. It's a RAID array. It's so they take these cans of RAID and they put them on this thing and they fire when the cockroach is detected.
Yeah.
Boom. Keeps them away from the hard drives. Cockroaches love hard drives. Yeah. So.
Which is so weird. Is it because it's like warm?
No, I just made that up.
Oh.
But I'm sure they do because it is warm.
Yeah.
Because they like laptops for sure. But no, a RAID array is an array of disks that are designed to have redundancy. So to kind of explain it in the least technical, long drawn out explanation, I have two disks. At the most minimum level of RAID, I've got two disks that both contain the same information.
Okay.
So you're operating off of one of these disks, and every change or modification or whatever is being mirrored on the other one.
Okay.
And so let's say the disk that you're operating off of dies.
Okay.
Everything's still right here. And then you take another disk. Now you're operating off this disk that didn't die. You take another disk and put it in, and it mirrors itself to this one. So you constantly... Well, they do that in a huge scale, and they have hundreds and hundreds of disks with all kinds of redundancy. So that's why you never see, it's X amount of users, Google Cloud data's gone or something, because they've got redundancy out the yin-yang, and you've got guys who... Oh, look, a disk failed. They just go grab one off the shelf and done. It's never lost, Yep. And the cloud is just somebody else's computer. That
was explained in the movie Blackberry, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know if I paid attention. It was actually a really good movie. I don't know if I paid attention that close enough to that, though.
I remember they were talking about, they were trying to do BlackBerry messaging, and they only got like 5 phones on their network, but then they went to this other network and it was like, now we got everybody, and now the company doesn't really exist. So
still around.
Yeah, it's around. It has, I think, 0.04% market share.
Yeah,
there are people who still love their BlackBerries.
That was just a failure to innovate right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Arrogance. Sheer arrogance.
But one of the things that definitely helps with arrogance segue right back to the main topic. Mm-hmm. When you're going into business for yourself.
Are you like done now?
No. Oh my God. Oh wow.
We're close.
When launching a business.
Yes.
how important is it with your systemization of time and like scheduling and all that other stuff, making sure that like you're good to go?
How important is it?
Yeah. Like what,
If you want to be successful, it's very important.
like walk me through what your perfect day would be.
If I don't know if I've had a perfect day yet.
Right. So if you were,
But if I were to have a perfect day, I would say start off with a good mental mindset. So either get into the Word, hear a good encouraging message, or a message that's going to pump you up to do the day's work, basically. Then start off the day doing the work, and just keep doing the work all day. And then when you're done, you feel good, accomplished, and wife comes home, and you have a good night, and do it again next day. You just keep building on it.
That was a very
Consistency.
open-ended question because I've been like, my perfect day would be like sipping Mai Tais on the beach somewhere in
Yeah.
tropical location because I've already made
Exactly.
all the money I could possibly make. You know?
Yeah, we can't go into super like detail what my perfect day would be, but
understood.
it's not allowed on the show.
I don't know. So there was a guy that we had, and the very first show that he was on, he dropped like the F-bomb a bunch of
Yes.
times. And
Yeah. Yeah.
somehow he ended up hosting the show. So
Oh,
there's that.
I don't want to get fined. I got legal requirements.
I kid you not.
I don't want the SEC.
I
coming
was
after me
so
for something
not-
stupid.
not ready for that.
I don't want- yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Like I kind of feel like you're onto something. If you're gonna, because going into business for yourself definitely is not easy.
No.
It's usually a lot of the same thing but with different people, and that's what makes it special. Because everybody's situation is different. Like whether you're at a Home Depot, a Lowe's, or McDonald's, like everybody's doing something. It's the same concept, but
Cheers, though.
it's different. It's what?
It's yours.
It's
your
yours.
business.
Yes.
Like, you're not, like, yeah.
So no 2 days ever really look the same, but I gotta appreciate what you said. Like you get up, start with a strong mindset, and you do the work.
Yes.
So whether it's the seeing of the clients or it's making the phone calls, or sometimes it's all the same.
It depends on what your business is.
Right.
So like whatever you got to do to be successful at your business, that's what you got to be doing. And if you get distracted or you let other things distract you and keep you off course, it's going to take you longer to get to that place where you want to be. So that's why you just got to stay on top of your mentals, basically.
So if you're
You gotta
you're
have
a-
some sacrifices.
a business owner of a porta potty servicing company, do you always have a crappy day?
Yes.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
You do.
I think so.
Well, maybe you don't, because
And if you just fish in like Carondelet Park, you just always have a great
Crappy day.
just,
Constantly.
I heard the farther you are in business, the farther you are away from the customer, the consumer, the more money you make. Like the CEO of the company seldom
yes.
is interacting with actual customers, like in the store at the same time. Like that's such a rare thing, I guess, especially when you come to like big box stores or whatever. But as the number one guy in your company, would you see yourself at some point stepping away from consumer interaction?
Not at all. I would always be involved some way on some level, like, because if it's my company, I'm going to lead by example, and I can't expect others to be serving people well and loving people well and having compassion for other people well if I'm not doing it either. So yeah, I would be visible about it too, and like let them see, like, oh, he's doing it. I could definitely be doing it. So
This guy's been at it for 15 years and he's kind of a bumbling idiot, but you know what? He's pretty good.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. Somehow he did it.
Yeah.
he did it. So, yeah. that
That's
would be-
cool.
Yeah, if I was at the top, that's how it would be. Wouldn't stop working. Still be serving.
You know, my dad was very. He worked for the state of New York for 24 plus years, and the way they got rid of him, like they forced him into retirement, but then the way that they forced him, they had to give him a couple extra years because they were super stupid about stuff. And
On his pension, they had to give him a couple extra years.
Yep. So it is what it is, but ultimately, why did I start this?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's a good question. I don't even know where I was going with it.
I was
Hi,
talking
Dad.
about,
I
was
love
talking
you.
about being at the top of the business.
Being at the top of the business,
and then you went into
his supervisors couldn't do the job that he does, and I feel like that's such a
That happens all the time.
all the time.
Yep.
yeah,
And it's like-
in the corporate world. And, yeah,
He'd come home and be like, "These stupid visors." I'm like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but that was ultimately one of the things that, because he said something to their face, because he, look, love my dad.
Mm-hmm.
If he had to, in certain circumstances, give an F just to like save humanity, humanity's screwed. Like that's just
Sorry,
like on
humanity.
principle. It's like, look, I remember I was trying to take a trip somewhere. I was like, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow some money?" He was like, "You knew it was coming, so like, no." And I was like, "Why are you? You're so mean." And it's like, no, but I get it now. Like as an older adult, I'm like, "Oh yeah, he was so right about that." My sister put an air tag in his shoe because he's got early onset dementia, so he wanders off. But she put one in his wallet, and she put one in an insole that goes into his shoe. And she was like, "Hey, do you see it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm looking at it. I'm like, "Yeah, he's over on such and such place." She was like, "Yeah, there's an 18-minute lag on this thing." So I'm like, "Ah, great. Can we just get him an Apple iPhone? Can we just..." But then he would forget to take it with him.
Mm-hmm.
Why is
So
there an
there's
18-minute delay on those there?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
It said his wallet was one place and he was someplace else. And I thought him and my sister got split up somewhere.
I would imagine that they probably did that on purpose. They had some somewhat hot water stuff that happened when the AirTags first came out, because when they first came out,
People stealing stuff, bro.
well, people were tracking people without them knowing, and that was a huge thing. Like you slap one of those on somebody's vehicle,
That's
and
how I think my car got stolen.
quite possibly. And now,
Was it a Kia?
Yeah, it was a Kia.
now my
But how they know
son,
where I was? They came to like my area of the woods, stole it from my driveway in the middle of the night. I work
Bro.
at Quick Trip, so I mean,
yeah.
in the hood. So
I mean, now you get a notification. So, like, my son has a pair of AirPods that he's never put on his Apple account. I don't know how that works. But anyway, anytime he's near me for an extended period of time and has his AirPods with him, I get a notification that there are AirPods traveling with me. And the first time it happened, I'm like, what is this? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, Andrew's got those AirPods. But, yeah, so anytime you're around an AirPod or an AirTag that is not yours, it'll just pop up and tell you. Like,
oh, interesting.
it'll tell you you're being followed, or there's
But only if you have
AirTag.
an Apple product.
Correct.
Yes. Back when I worked at a mechanic shop, this young lady came in. The first time her car was towed in, all the windows had been busted out and all her tires had been slashed.
I saw that one in the shop.
Yeah. So you were like, "What's going on with that?" I was like, "Well, we're not doing any of the body work. We're not doing the windows. We're not doing the windshield, but we're going to do the tires." And she was waiting for insurance to get through and all that other stuff. Well, anyway, in a situation like that, most people think, "Oh, some woman did it," or to a guy or something, because that's what I guess they assume women would do. But that is not the case, because it was her methed out boyfriend who just like went to town and
Lost
he was
it.
really upset. So much so that after she had packed all her stuff and she was driving off in the U-Haul, he like took a swing at the U-Haul with a baseball bat.
Okay.
Methed out as well. Anyway, fast forward, she has her car towed in again. 3 of the tires have been slashed.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a real crummy situation. I wasn't too thrilled with it. I know she wasn't, but like when it comes to vandalism on that level, all 4 tires, that's an insurance claim. 3 apparently is not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on your insurance, probably.
Well, we just talked about this. Was it last week that there people in North Carolina were getting denied insurance because
Because
people
they said
used
there
the
was a flood.
flood? Oh, you don't have flood insurance.
It's like, wait, but the house was under.
The hurricane destroyed my house, but now it's flooded. Oh, you said flood.
Yeah, there was a lot of wind damage and like a lot of wind damage.
Yeah.
Is anything wet? There was a lot of wind damage.
Yeah.
A lot of wind damage.
Yeah.
That's covered, right?
A hurricane came through and destroyed my stuff. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
What insurance company does it get?
Oh, I'm sure there was a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
There are
stupid.
so many. If you read certain insurance contracts, they will say that an act of God is not considered
Yeah, most of them.
as. It's like, oh yeah, so it was the strangest thing. It was an act of. I was getting into my car, and my phone. I was talking to my wife, and my phone fell, and I was closing the door, and it got wedged in the door.
Oof.
And it's like, oh yeah, it was an act of God. No, that was just pure stupidity.
I became really educated on act of God stuff whenever our tree in our backyard fell and it hit the neighbor's garage and did significant damage to the neighbor's garage. And we'd already always had a fairly good relationship with the neighbors, but they were livid and they're like, oh, you're going to pay for this. And my insurance company was like, no, that's an act of God and it goes on their insurance. And she was significantly upset when I said that, and she contacted her insurance company. In fact, her son was like verbally threatening me in my front yard, and I'm like, what are you 10? Are we in the schoolyard now? Like he was getting mad, and I'm not a super confrontational person, but I was pretty close because this dude was just like trying to intimidate me, and I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to achieve here. You can just go talk to you. Well, I'm getting a lawyer. Okay, cool. Have fun.
By all means, your lawyer will tell you the same
Right.
thing that I just did.
Yeah, and they contacted their insurance company and then they shut up. But I'm like, listen, I'm removing the tree. Like, I've already paid a tree service to come out here and start removing this tree. You know, it's not my fault that we had high straight line winds that knocked my tree down, you know. But yeah, I learned really in depth about that. But yeah, he was threatening legal action. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna sue you, and you're gonna be broke, and you're not gonna have a pot to piss in." Was his favorite little thing, and I'm like, "Oh, you really do that? That's cool." Over a tree in a garage that you don't even have a car in.
Broke people make broke threats.
Oh my god!
I was working for. This was the year before I ran the New York City Marathon. I was working for a company that was working on this, right? It was some sort of gear and an apparel company. There we go. And sure enough, there was like some sort of snafu, and the dude was like threatening me. And I remember I fielded the phone call, and this dude just kept talking about how he was going to leave the Park Avenue place that he worked because, you know, he works on Park Avenue. He was like a doorman, right? I'm going to leave here. I know people. And I
Is
was
that
like,
a fancy place in New York?
yeah. So like,
I work in Clayton. That'd be like,
so yeah, like a Park Avenue is known for like its high rises and really expensive rents and all that other stuff. And this dude was like a doorman or something. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come down there and I straight up told him, like, there's really no need for all of this, but he kept pushing. And I remember my boss at the time was like, hey, could you put him on hold? Because I flat out told him, hey, I'll tell you what, as hot as you sound right now, like, you sound really upset, and I'm sorry that this happened. If you really want to do this, I'll give you the address, and I'll meet you outside. And he immediately was like, could you put that on hold? Yeah, sure. So I put it on hold. He's like, dude, what's going on? I'm like, this dude's threatening to come kick my ass. And you know what? I'm ready. Like,
I'll do it.
this was before the hernia surgery. I was a whole lot more just like, yo, let's do this.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna look. Whatever you think is the worst thing that you could do, it's probably the worst thing you can do. I'm a little bit more depraved in my human state. The Lord is working on me. Okay, like,
Good job.
yeah. But yeah, like, if we're gonna do this, like, let's do this. Like, we're not even gonna. I'll call the police in advance and let them know to have the EMTs on standby because one or both of us, most likely you, is going to the hospital. Like, you ran the marathon. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. The very next year I did, and I was so proud of me. So it was just like, all right, cool. But like in the state that I was in, we could do this.
You know, it's sad. A lot of people in this generation, that is their customer service skills. It's very subpar. Like, yeah, I'll fight you. I don't care. I don't care about my job.
Look, we can take it back to Waffle House. Waffle House has a lot of great things. I know you saw the video made the rounds a couple months ago where the lady threw a chair and the Waffle House employee just like snatched it right out of the air and put it down. If you haven't,
I did that in high school.
What?
Yeah.
You threw it or you caught it?
Someone threw a chair at me because
And
they
you-
went to fight, and I just caught it. And I grabbed him by the neck and like was holding him out the window.
I'll tell you, it is a very disarming thing when somebody gives you their best shot and you just like neutralize it.
Yeah.
It's like, I might be in trouble now.
It is. Did you ever say there was a video where this like huge dude was, or was it? I don't know. Somebody was getting ready to punch somebody that would have gotten like decimated by it, and this other dude walks up and like grabs his
Catches,
punch.
he was gonna sucker punch him.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just caught the hand and he was like, "Nah, man."
No, yeah, and it's just odd. What do you do like at that point?
I haven't
Like,
seen that one. That was,
Oh.
that was cool.
That's
I
been
haven't
around
seen
for
that
a long
Waffle
time.
House one either.
Oh, then you probably didn't see this third one.
there's Waffle House fights all the time.
All
dude.
the time, but
I
it
can
was
imagine.
so. I'll show you after the show. It was so epic. Homegirl just like threw it. So I remember seeing it was a train in New York City, and I was like, "Oh, that's 34th Street, Penn Station." Dude, significantly smaller. He's upset with the guy who's significantly larger than him, and he spits in the dude's face.
Oh no!
And the guy is like trying to hold the door because he's gonna absolutely pummel this dude. And he sees the door still closing, and he spits on him a second time.
Oh gosh!
And the
That's
door
intense.
closes
Yeah.
a little bit, and then it opens.
Oh no!
And you see the look on his face, as you can only imagine. The urine is running down his pants leg, just like, oh. And it pauses. The way the video it pauses, and then it's like, in the jungle, the mighty jungle. Ooh. And the dude's like, oh. And sure enough, the guy steps off the train and just hits him one time. And he's about to hit him a second time, and somebody else goes to intercede. And the person, there was another bystander, just stops him and goes, no, he's kind of got this one coming. And he just lets him get beat up on the subway platform right
Wow.
there. And I was like, that's the most New York thing. That and Pizza Rat.
Oh yeah, the Pizza Rat. I've
Pizza
seen
Rat
that.
is good.
The guy that threw the chair at me said, "Time to die." As he was throwing it, yeah.
And you got it?
Yeah,
Time to die.
Time to die.
How lame is that? Like,
Oh, man, we were
I'm gonna
15. I don't know.
I'm gonna kill you
Probably
with a
sounded
chair.
cool back then. It was an art class.
I'm gonna kill you
It was
with
a
a
crazy
chair.
thing. The art teacher didn't do anything about it. Like, I was choking this kid, hanging him out the window. She's like, "You guys knock it off."
Oh, stop your
Stop it.
shenanigans. Stop it. Now,
And so we did.
like, oh,
We're
okay.
like, okay, I guess
Got me in
we'll stop.
tears.
Yeah.
Like, no. He just let him have this one.
Yeah.
He's got it coming.
You know, I think
He's been bullying
sometimes
people for a long time.
Yeah, I think sometimes certain teachers are like, yeah, that one deserves it.
Yeah.
I'm
Probably.
just, I know that I have to intervene at some point, but I'm going to pretend that I don't see it until he gets punched at least 3 times. Okay, now you should not. Oh, he's got a bloody nose. Yeah, let's knock that off. Yeah, there are some.
Can you get one more in for me? Okay. All right, now you got to stop.
Yeah, you know it has to happen because like those teachers don't have control today. It's nuts.
Well,
Well, if you have a classroom of like 40 people.
yo, that's hard.
Oh my gosh. Well, now though you can't even get into fights. They got school resource officers and both you go to jail. and
Listen,
it's crazy.
I remember getting the call when nephew got suspended
Oh,
a week
yeah,
before.
jeez.
And this is why I started watching Cobra Kai. And then we're going to wrap up.
Yep.
So, my dear nephew, who is now an All-American wrestler, he wasn't then. This was, 3 years ago? Mm-hmm. He started taking karate classes. He saw Cobra Kai, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to watch karate class. I want to take karate class. So he's taking karate classes and he's learning his breathing techniques. He's learning how to throw punches, all that good stuff. And at some point, this kid was kind of bothering him. And he flat out was like, look, I ain't got time for this. Like, you're entirely too small to be doing this. Like, don't, like, small-minded. Like, for me to pick on you back is a terrible thing. So he didn't bother with the kid. So he's walking through the halls, and the kid, like, grabbed him and pulled him into, you got two doors, one going one way, one going the other, and there's that beam in the middle. It's the frame. Pulls him into the frame, and he, like, pushes the kid. When he pushes the kid, like, drops his phone. The kid gets mad. He picks up the phone, swings at nephew. Nephew gets hit in the face, and he's like, cool. Squares up. Boom! Hits him right in the face. And my understanding of the situation is the kid, like, got stiff as a board and then fell backwards. So, like, it was a legit, like, he knocked him senseless. But then they were like, well, we've got to suspend you now. Mm-hmm. Like, for what? Like,
yeah.
If I told a
Zero
teacher,
tolerance.
if I told a teacher, stop doing it, and the kid continues doing it, now there's no consequences or repercussions for this kid bothering me. But if I institute my own boundaries, now it's a situation of, well, you shouldn't be fighting in school. Well, he shouldn't be. Look, all I did was end the situation that you started.
Zero tolerance. I'm fine with it.
Zero tolerance.
You should have got suspended.
I've told my children, and that's the reason why he did this. I'm like, don't start anything, but finish it. Mm-hmm. And here's the
Live
reason.
with the consequences.
Because I have seen way too many times that these instructors, you always get some lady that comes up that's horribly underpowered, and you're getting pummeled on the ground.
And she's
You're
like,
not,
stop.
You're not fighting. Stop, because they can't listen. They can't manhandle these children, or they're looking at lawsuits themselves.
That's right.
And losing their job and losing their whole career because they flinged a 13-year-old off another 13-year-old and injured the 13-year-old that they flung. So they can't go out of their way and stop this fight. So all they can do is try. And these two kids are in the heat of the moment beating the crap out of each other, or one's getting pummeled and the other one's not throwing punches. No, knock him back, bro. Do not stand there and not fight back. We'll clean it up after there's enough cameras all over that school that they see who started it. Because every time there's ever been an altercation, even when I was in high school, they're like, yeah, we saw what happened. Like, there's enough cameras, they saw what happened, and you defended yourself and didn't get your freaking face broke.
The kid came at me with a pencil. He was going to stab me. So I stabbed him first. Like, what?
No. We're not going to go that far.
No, but like,
very clear.
Somebody's coming at you with a chair. It's like, come on, man.
Right.
I'm supposed to just eat that?
No, you just flick it away.
Flick it away.
Just flick it away.
Yeah, deflection, yeah.
It's fine. That's just
No, because here's what you get out of it. Like, if he would have stood there and just let that happen and somebody would have come broke it up, yeah, he wouldn't have gotten a 3-day suspension. But he would have been in much worse shape. And now this guy knows that he can come back and continue to jack with him and cause future altercations. But now that you got your face jacked and you about got knocked out,
you ain't gonna do it again.
You ain't gonna do it again.
So much so that he tried the same nonsense with another kid, like after the suspensions were done. And this was like the week before school was supposed to end. So he comes back for one of the last days of school and he's like messing with people, and the kid goes, I'm gonna get him. Like, he's gonna get you. And it was like, okay. In any case, Joe, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for talking some business with me.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do this
Appreciate
again. Thank you guys for watching. We are here in Studio, where is it? Studio B?
B. Up on the wall over there.
It's on the wall over there. I know I see the big green. You
giant.
guys can't see it. But like, it says Studio B here in downtown Granite City. In the complex, which, by the way, totally amazing. You need to come down here. Home of the Downtown Diner, which also happens to be home of my favorite burger, the 3D burger. It's oh, bro.
I want to go. I want to eat it.
Yeah. I
was
told
like,
you
why
about the
is
3D
this place
burger.
Closed?
Well, today it is. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a glazed donut with 2 patties of beef and some cheese and bacon
Interesting.
and no
It's
garden.
so good.
No
I
tomato,
want
no
it.
lettuce. Like anything that was grown in the earth is not on this thing. And it's
Well, I'm pretty sure the flour.
I mean, yeah, sure, yeah, but that doesn't
lettuce.
count.
Didn't you
Look,
say lettuce?
No.
no, there's no lettuce, no
No,
tomato,
no
no
lettuce,
garden,
no tomato.
no garden at all.
No
but
red.
in the same complex, we also have the Garden Gate Tea Room, which is right here. We have the Board Gamery out front, which, by the way, this Friday, yours truly will be hosting a trivia night. It's the first Friday of the month, so trivia is happening, and it's Disney trivia. So you'll get to see this beautiful face. You guys are so lucky. I got to look in a mirror. You guys just got to look at me, and that's all that is. In addition to that, on Saturday, if you are interested, there is a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that is starting. Myself, Engineer Bill, your lovely wife, Amy, who, by the way, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Amy. And Tiffany from back home. I believe she's in PA now. But yeah, happy birthday, Tiffany. So that's happening. Feel free to come out and join us on November 2nd. Wrapping up this week, I believe, is the Haunted House.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, the Haunted House. It's behind the movie theater. So yeah, creepy stuff.
Good stuff.
But yeah, it's a lot of good stuff. Downtown Diner, Board Gamery, Garden Gate Tea Room, and Studio C, where you can watch movies just on the other side of, well, it's a little bit ways away.
I walked
Actually, it is
past
the
it.
other
It
side.
looked
of
Right
it.
on
cool.
the side.
Yeah.
Private
Yeah.
cinema.
Private cinema. You can rent it out, have a movie and popcorn and all that.
Yep.
So yeah, give us a call, But yeah, thanks for watching. Joe, thank you. Bill, thank you. And we will see you next week for my birthday show! Woo!
Oh my gosh.
And on that show, we will have Jonathan Roberts. He is a scientist who does like biotech stuff. And I'm a little nerd about biotech stuff. We were talking at church yesterday about it. He's really excited to be here. So he's going to be here and I'm going to be here. And there's probably going to be something with dough and cheese and sauce. And I'm not going to eat a cake. My sister was very clear that I should not try to eat an entire birthday cake
I
by
dared
myself.
him more than once.
I'm not doing. She called me after that show and was like, "Do not." Like I wasn't. I'm not saying you can't do it. Like it's a challenge. You should not do that
Wise.
because that would be terrible for you.
Yeah.
So we will see you guys next week. You are awesome, amazing, and fantastic. Don't let anybody make you feel differently. Have a good week, guys.
See ya.